Join us for a review of the BMW X6 S40i. Let's go! Here in the front we can see the BMW X6 has a different double kidney than the X5. It's a little bit, let's say, more sculpture here in this area. Vertical fins, pretty impressive, really big if you compare it also to the previous generation of the X6. Headlamps come standard with LED, then it looks like this, also with the daytime running light. Optional, there are these adaptive LED. Then the daytime running light is also a little bit different, so it goes a little bit wider, on each side. You can also check it out in our other reviews, but I think it's good that we today have a car that does not have all the options. 4 meters 93, 16 foot 1 or 194 inches is the length of the BMW X6 in this generation, and the wheel size actually goes optional to 22 inch. This is something in between. It's 20 inch, I think, a good compromise between the visual part and the comfort. Other than that, there are not so many options on this vehicle. On the exterior, this is standard that we have the crossover wheel arches here. Option, you can go for an M Sport package, which then changes it to vehicle color wheel arches. Technology-wise, interesting that standard is an adaptive suspension. Optional, you can get a dynamic driving package that includes an anti-roll system together with the integral active steering that then actually steers the rear axle in the opposite direction than the front wheels at slow speeds for more slow speed agility and also narrower turning circle, and at higher speeds for more stability in the same directions as the front wheels. And this one also comes in a one whole package together, for example, also with bigger brake calipers. And in the rear we find here an integrated spoiler in vehicle color. I think that's subtle enough. This new generation of the X6 features these horizontal tail lamps, which look more modern and sporty, X6 badge here. And the standard styling here had some gray contrast. And the rear exhaust on the inside, the outer tip, is just for the visual beauty part. As for engines, in Europe we get the 3-liter 6-cylinder diesel. Then we also get, this one is the main engine for the US, the 3-liter 6-cylinder petrol engine, turbocharged and with 340 horsepower. 5.5 seconds is the acceleration figure, 0 to 60 miles or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. In the US you can also get it with rear-wheel drive only. Other than that, optional here in the US, or then always the same in Europe with the xDrive, so with the all-wheel drive, but even then it is rear-wheel biased. And about the MPG figure or fuel economy, you can, when you like cruise control motorways, score some 9 liters more kilometers or 26 mpg, 31 mpg UK, so even a little bit better when you only cruise control motorway, and of course a little bit worse when you have different driving situations. But overall it's a quite efficient engine for that size, for the power output, and also for this kind of, style of the vehicle. Then you can also go with the M50i, for example, or also with the X6M, with the true M model, for the 4.4 liter V8, but that one is also really way worse in the fuel economy. Very well processed here, Hofmeister King design elements, also how the buttons resonate with the quality of interior. Then sadly the X6 only comes with animal skin material. The X5 also available with animal friendly sensor tech, so they have to adapt their model lineup as for that still. I think it's not a wise decision, so that means this is also the standard sport seat, that only with animal skin. But if you go for that one, you can also pick the standard seat. There's another one also available that also includes an additional animal skin setup as well. Then the steering wheel, here is the M steering wheel, so a little bit sportier, and you have controls for cruise control on the left side, and on the right side, for example, for the volume and for the voice input system or something. And there are also nice shifting pedals at the steering wheel. And now let's get inside. Let's get inside. It's of course easily done. And you might ask yourself, X5 versus X6, what's the technological difference? And there are actually, let's say, three things. First of all, the A-pillar is flatter. That makes the interior feeling here sportier, but also a little bit more cramped. The X5 more has a traveling feeling with the more upright A-pillar. Headroom-wise, still totally fine with one with 86 or 6 with 1, and this one even includes the panoramic roof. Well, and then the second change is the torsional stiffness here is a little bit higher with the X6 because of the building form of the coupe. It's a little bit better as for the stiffness. And you can also feel it in driving it when you are an experienced car driver and have a lot of comparison. But it's just, a subtle change. And then here the seat form itself, of course, the different seats available, but basically it's all the same from the form and also materials and so on. But it is 10 millimeters lower inside the vehicle. Again, that's a minor change, but with all these minor changes, I have already experienced that you do feel some difference also in driving with the X6 because it's a little bit sportier. And also the suspension setup is a little bit sportier if you compare the direct versions. Interior overview, in this new generation they've really done a lot, especially quality material wise. Here the separate climate unit, for example, has a very good quality impression, and it's still good that you can control this, and also the seat heating still manual. The screen setup is 2 times 12.3 inch, left and right, also comes standard, not like this or like that, always this way. That's cool. Soon more deals to each of these. As for the instruments, you can see that right side RPM, left side speed. Therefore, in the middle, there's space for the GPS, and I have a route mounted at the moment, or set, a destination set, and therefore you can also see now more of the GPS. And the head-up display is a very good option, definitely. They have everything in your line of sight. For example, also again a GPS view if you have a destination set. Now details to the infotainment system. This is the main menu. Just click it in once, or the hotkey in the lower part to go to the map. Where we're here at the Pacific Coast Highway and the beach of Huntington Beach. This is really, really beautiful spot. Just awesome to be here. And best greetings for all our fans from LA. We have big fan base, especially here in the Los Angeles area. So best greetings to you. And of course to everyone else. So car settings is really interesting here. The driving information, for example, with the trip data. With a, quite good MPG figure right there. So that's really, really decent for this size of vehicle. Here we go. Use all the screen. Music-wise, it's really pretty cool. We can listen to some Buffer and Beyond right here. And the sound system, all are actually quite good, and there are different upgrades you can actually get. This one here is the Harman Kardon sound system, and it's really worth it because the sound is very crisp and clear. And the rear camera, where we now can see the sunset or this truck here next to us. Well, the panoramic roof, if you have one, it opens very wide, has this shade here as well, and here it's especially cool because then you get the views on the palm trees. Now let's get in the rear. Also easily done. The X6 has, especially on the exterior, less headroom. What do I mean by that? Because on the interior they did some stuff to even that effect out. So the headlining is a little bit slimmer, so they gain some headroom again. With one with 86 or 6 with 1, they're still totally fine. Then they put the seat bench a little bit lower, and also the angle a little bit backwards. That's less comfortable to sit on, I think at least. But it, again, gives you more headroom overall. 580 to 1,525 liters is the boot capacity, and this cover here. You can flip it up like this, and the capacity is just 60 liters less than in the X5. The reason is it is measured below this one here, and above you have the loss in height. That's the thing. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the BMW X6 40i. We'll start sporty, put in the sports mode, then we turn the gears a little bit more up, and let's go. Well, and that's 60 miles, and that was not even flooring it out, so I was keeping it, you know, in the balance of sportiness and calmness. It was just good because the speed limit here was just exactly 60 miles an hour, so it was a good test. Now it's 55. And again, as I said, I did not even floor it out all the way, so there could have been even a better acceleration, but already pretty decent. Well, and especially in sports mode, you always have a nice punch and also, let's say, enhance the sound then in this sport mode. And we just are in this base 6-cylinder, so to say. So performance-wise, you're not lacking anything. And the thing is really that when you drive it as a 8-cylinder, of course there's more, sonorous sound, even especially also from the exterior, and you have more punch. But then again, the 8-cylinder is also heavier, so it can feel a little bit lighter here on the front axle, and it's with quite a lot of vehicles that are available with the 6-cylinder or 8-cylinder. It can sometimes feel sportier in the 6-cylinder overall from the handling because the weight balance is better and weight in general is lower. So pretty interesting aspect. And we are, for you here, also on a very scenic route. It's the highway number 1, one of the most scenic routes in the world overall. And this here today is the part, because last time with the X5 we've been here, we went up north. So, along the Big Sur part, you can also check out that review. That's actually, to me, one of the most beautiful parts. This time going south towards San Diego, and you can see beautiful looks here, always right and left. It's just a more countryside-ish part, then you pass some towns and so on. Thank you for not smoking. Interesting. Yeah, smoking inside the vehicle. What about you? Would you smoke inside your car, even if you're a smoker? Tell me in the comments. So I always say, food and cigarettes, never ever in a car. Keep it clean, right? Keep it clean and simple. So went back to the comfort mode, and the exhaust note is also a little bit more calm, and also the throttle input is calmer. The gears are not turned up that high while they're shifting up. Then it's also more about the fuel economy, for example. You can also go to the Eco Pro mode that is even further reducing the throttle input, for example. Also puts everything to the bluish color here, so to save some more fuel, not by the bluish color, but rather by the throttle input. And BMW has been using this mild hybrid systems even before they were called mild hybrid, actually. They always called it efficient dynamics. That was just about that the car battery has some recuperation, for car internal systems. And talked about the fuel economy a little bit before. So yes, you can score some 9 liters on 1 kilometers or 26 mpg, 31 mpg UK if you hit it cruise control on the motorway and constant speed. In this case, then even better sometimes. I was also just cruise control motorways, scoring some 8 liters or then like 28 mpg, 29 mpg, or even 30 plus mpg UK. But now, after a little while, with more city traffic involved and here and there an acceleration, overtaking and so on, I'm rather than heading towards 10 liters 1 kilometers and then like 22, 23 mpg US and 26 mpg UK something-ish. But still, considering the size of the vehicle, it's still okay. More efficient would just be the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder diesel, which is actually one of the most efficient ones in the diesel range, 4 and 6-cylinder together. Remember that in the BMW 5 Series we once had 5 liters or 1 kilometers diesel consumption, which is really, really little. So that was pretty interesting. Next beach, and we're getting into into some traffic. This vehicle, as we told you earlier, is not spec'd with everything, and I'm really happy to have that, because so many times we have everything full spec, and I want to have more customer realistic vehicles. That's what I actually enjoy more. Oh, it's a nice E450 Cabriolet. So here we do have the normal cruise control, means I can set it here on the steering wheel and just put the speed, and then the speed is being maintained. But this is not equipped with the adaptive cruise control. That's probably an extra I would recommend, because it's just cozy. And with the adaptive cruise control, you also have like this second stage, if you pick the whole driver's assistance package, where you have the highway pilot, that the vehicle is actively kept in the lane, and you just hold on to the steering wheel and the car somehow steers for itself, plus distance is being kept, so like semi-autonomous. Here again, just normal cruise control, and we do have a lane keeping assist as standard equipment, yes. However, it is not an active one that, let's say works in a predictive way. This one then, this emergency lane keeping assist, I could call it, is more working in a way that as soon as you approach the line on the left, on the right, then it's counter steering. But still, it's a quite smooth process. Again, working with the steering wheel intervention, so that did a very good job as well. Blind spot monitor in the US is also standard, so there's a flashing in with the yellow triangle, right or on the left side mirror, depending on the side, of course. And this is also one of the best security features, definitely, or safety features. So here now, also in city traffic, I'm feeling quite cozy here with this upright seating position. I always feel a little bit, let's say, more tension with the X6 than with the X5. So this additional torsional stiffness from the chassis, together with the 10mm lower seating position, a little bit stiffer suspension setup, this is really giving you a somewhat more fun and sporty driving experience. The X5 then rather delivers you some more traveling driving experience. Also with this more upright A-pillar and so on. So that's then the question, what's more likable to you. And now to our conclusion for the day, where you can also see this side puddle light with the BMW wings. Very interesting. Well, from the exterior, I think this new generation of the X6 is more elegant than before. It's very strong, but it doesn't have, this bulkish thing to it. I think it has still some kind of elegance. And if you prefer this styling to the X5, you can, of course, then go for it and don't have to take so many compromises on the interior. I think you can still have a very versatile car also in the back and also in the trunk. Of course, considering the length of the vehicle, there should be a little bit more legroom, I think. Driving-wise, it has a very comfortable but yet agile driving, a little bit sportier to drive than the X5. This 40i engine is actually the engine to go for, or a plug-in hybrid version that is already offered in the X5. That would be the engine to go for. Let's see if that one will come at some point for the X6. I don't know yet. But the 40i definitely the engine to go for, because it's actually quite efficient considering the size of the vehicle, and also yet again quite powerful. Interior build quality is also at a very high level. Sadly, no animal skin alternative for the X6. BMW has to even that out very soon, because even more customers will go for animal-friendly solutions and want to enjoy luxury at the very same time. Overall, I think a quite convincing vehicle. Had a lot of fun driving it, and also good that we could take a look at this, let's say, more realistic vehicle, because so many other times we have vehicles that are so fully spec'd and so on. So overall, I think we had a great time today with you. I hope you enjoyed it here with us, and please leave us your comments to this car in the comment section.